Pull up a chair, let's set the scene. Take a little trip to in between. Old school truth with a brand new sound. Conversations in the vault start now. Step inside, feel the vibe. Every single word come alive. Hear the truth, hear the call. Conversations in the vault. Conversations in the vault. In the vault. In the vault.
Family. Tonight's story comes from a woman who cried in silence and changed history with her prayers. Her name is Hannah. She was barren in a world where a woman's worth was measured by her womb. She was mocked by another wife, misunderstood by a priest, and overwhelmed by a sorrow no one else seemed to notice. But what the world didn't see, heaven did. Hannah didn't just pray, she poured. She didn't just ask, she surrendered. And God answered her in a way that shifted generations. Tonight, we're not talking about a baby story. We're talking about what it means to keep believing when the answer feels delayed. Family, help me welcome into the vault, Hannah. Hannah, you wanted a child so badly, yet years passed without an answer. How did you survive emotionally when your prayers weren't answered on your schedule?
There were nights I cried myself to sleep, and mornings I forced myself to get up anyway. I learned how to worship through tears and praise through disappointment. Some days my faith was loud, and some days it was only whispers.
The Bible says Penina provoked you constantly. How did you deal with being hurt by someone who should have understood your pain?
I almost changed who I was, trying to defend my heart. But I realized her cruelty wasn't about me. It was about what she feared God would do for me.
After everything you went through, how did Elkanah treat you?
He didn't see when I lacked. He saw who I was. Elkanah gave me love when others gave me looks. Affection when the world gave me labels. He fed my heart before he fed my shame. Even when he didn't fully understand my sorrow, he never stopped trying to stand beside me in it.
When the priest took your crying and praying as you being drunk, how did that make you feel?
That everyone won't understand your prayer life. Some prayers aren't pretty, they're desperate.
Hannah, when you prayed, you didn't just ask God for a child. You offered God your surrender. You promised that if he gave you a son, you would give that son back to him. That kind of seed isn't money, it's not words, it's obedience. What did it cost you inside to make that promise to God, knowing what it might require of you?
The seed I offered God wasn't something I owned. It was something I loved. I didn't promise him leftovers. I promised him my heart. I told God that if he trusted me with a son, I would trust him with that same son. And that wasn't easy. It cost me the dreams I held in my arms before I ever held a child. But what I learned was this: when you give God what you love, he gives you what you need. And sometimes faith is planting a miracle before you ever see the harvest.
Leaving your baby at the temple had to break your heart. Were you ever afraid?
Yes, but obedience felt safer than fear.
Hannah, when you look back at the little boy you prayed for and the man he became, a prophet who spoke with God, a leader who anointed kings, a voice that changed the direction of a nation, what goes through your heart when you think about who Samuel became?
I didn't just pray for a child. I prayed for a calling. When I left him at the temple, it hurt. But every time I heard God used him, a deeper joy replaced my sorrow. Samuel became proof that answered prayers don't just bless you. They bless generations you may never live to see. I didn't raise him in my home very long, but I raised him in prayer his whole life.
How was life after you gave Samuel back to God?
After Samuel, God didn't forget me. He remembered me again and again and again. He didn't just answer my prayer, He restored my joy. God gave me more children, sons and daughters, and every one of them felt like heaven whispering, I saw you. Where there was once emptiness, He placed laughter. Where there were once tears, He planted songs. And I learned that God is not a God of limits. He is a God of overflow.
Hannah, thank you. Thank you for trusting us with your story. Thank you for your tears. Thank you for your honesty. And thank you for reminding every woman that waiting does not mean forgotten. You didn't just give birth to a son, you gave birth to hope for every heart still believing. Thank you for stepping into the vault and leaving a little bit of heaven behind.
Sugar, thank you. Thank you for listening to my heart, not just my story. And thank you to every woman who's still waiting and still believing. You are not forgotten. If God heard my quiet prayers, He hears yours too. Thank you for letting me be part of the vault and for reminding me that my tears were never wasted.
Family, here are today's vault keys from Hannah's life. God hears prayers you don't have words for. Delay is not denial. Being misunderstood doesn't mean you're unseen. Your seed is your surrender, not your money. What you give to God, He multiplies. Overflow often comes after obedience. God honors a heart poured out in faith. Your story does not end where the pain started. If you're waiting, God is working. And if you're hurting, heaven is listening. Family, if tonight's conversation touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, share it with someone who needs this word, and subscribe so you never miss a moment inside the vault. Until next time, keep your faith strong, your prayer life unceasing, and remember, every story unlocks something. We love you here at Conversations in the Vault.